Assalamu alaikum students, how are you all? I hope all of you are fine by the grace of Allah Almighty. Welcome to the first online science class. Today the day is Monday and the date is 27th May 2024. Today we are going to start our continued topic, that is matter as particles, and the subtopic is evidence for the particle model. So take out your textbooks of science, and the textbook page number is 43 and 44. We are going to discuss in detail about evidence for the particle model. As we are already discussed earlier in the class, matter is made up of tiny particles. Some particles are small, called atoms, and some particles are large, called molecules. And we cannot see atoms and molecules individually in solids, liquid, and gases, and these are the states of matter, as you know. So there are a lot of evidences or examples to support the particle model theory. The first example of the evidence for the particle model is balloon. Have you ever noticed, students, why a balloon or how a balloon always goes down after the pumping of air in the balloon? No matter how the balloon is tightly tied, because of the tiny holes in the skin of the balloon, and the air can pass through these holes because the air molecules are enough too small to pass through these holes. So that's why the balloon slowly deflates. Second example of the particle evidence for the particle model after the balloon is basketball. You can take a deflated basketball and put on a weighing machine. Put on a weighing machine and note the initial mass or weight of the basketball before the air is pumped in it. Students, do you think um, deflated basketball has less weight before the air is pumped in it? Yes, is it? Because after the pumping of the air, you can again the check of the mass or weight of the basketball, and you can see the increased weight of the basketball because of the air, because air has a mass, as we already discussed, right? Third example or evidence for the particle model is syringe. Students, you can take an empty syringe without a needle and put your finger on the open side of the syringe and start pressing the syringe. After you can pressing, you will be notice it's become harder to press the syringe due to the air pressure. Fourth example of solution of water and salt. Students, you can take a solution of water and salt and place in sunlight. After a few hours, you can observe um, water will be evaporated. Water has been evaporated, uh, and salts are left behind because the water molecules has been evaporated due to the sun's heat. And as you know, evaporation is a process in which water turns into a gas or steam. It's called evaporation. After this example, you can take another example of sugar and water. You can take a sugar and mix in the water and stir the sugar in the water. The sugar dissolves in water because of the tiny particles of sugar move into the empty spaces between water particles. Students, we have more evidence that particles are moving. And the another example of the small particles of the smoke that are suspended in the air. A small glass, you can take a small glass container called smoke cell, and it is filled with the smoke. After the filling of the smoke in the container and illuminated under the on the stage of the microscope, you can observe the container under the microscope through the lens of the microscope, and you can see a tiny particles are moving or jerking in all direction, and these bright particles are called smoke particles that are suspended in the air due to the movement of the air particles. So this random motion is known as Brownian motion. You can mark this term on your textbook because this is the most important term. This term get named after a Scottish scientist, that is Robert Brown, in 1827, after this discovery of the pollen grains moving in the water. He can observe the tiny particles known as pollen grains move in the water. So that's why he can give the name of this motion is known as Brownian motion. Okay, students, almost your class was end. If you have any question or query about your lesson, you can ask me without any hesitation. Okay, Allah Hafiz.